This is part 2 of the crime chart for Paige Fannon, who went missing in March. And we're going to talk about serial killers tonight. So I'm going to look at some charts, some cards, see what we can find out. And I got to say, I do think that there is some type of serial killer out there. It's going to take a little bit of time, maybe the end of the year. There might be some real active investigations, particularly by FBI agents. Let's get to the first chart. We did not discuss this last night. I saved this for the members, but this is the last seen time chart of Paige Fannon. Now, she's a hairdresser. She has just so many nice comments from families, friends. Seemed like a really happy, smart, vivacious type of woman. I believe she was in her mid-30s, and she was found in some very, very fast running river outside of her hometown in West Iceland. So this is the time that they found remains of Paige. And one thing I notice is the ascendant is in Cancer. So we're going to go and look for the moon. The moon rules Cancer. It's in Gemini. So it makes me think of there's some kind of secret communication going on, because the 12th house is Pisces. It is secret communications. We've got some type of a Gemini clue here. This could be maybe one of a few victims. It's a very good possibility. Maybe there is a twin case of hers that people are going to be comparing this case to. I noticed that the 4th house is in Virgo. If you were to look at this in a normal chart and you see the South Node somewhere, it means to let go of. So it makes me think that there could be something that has to do with an apartment, a home, kind of saying goodbye to a home possibly. And so another theory that popped into my mind was that, well, let's look at where Mercury is. Mercury is way up here at the top. And maybe she is talking about, I don't know, moving somewhere. And Uranus, the planet for moving, is part of this, you can see this sort of like a part of Thales here, but it's part of a big mystic rectangle. So might be part of a discussion. What's she going to do? Is she going to get independence? So in these charts, we can find the background of the victim. We can figure out, what is that person's experience right before something pretty terrible happens, something very tragic. Now with this red line, this opposition here with Neptune, usually an opposition with Neptune is something that's being faked. North Node is also, this is a double whammy of something that is fake. So it could be maybe a fake job offer, a fake interview, could be, because it's also hitting the 4th house, maybe a fake offer to live somewhere. So it seems as if there is probably a good amount of connectivity or connection with the person who ultimately brought harm to her. And still, I think people are thinking, maybe she was depressed. They don't know if at least they're not saying right now, if there was a perp that was involved. With all of this, Pisces, it can show emotion, lots and lots of emotion, and can be kind of depressing. It could have been a depressing period for her. So the one thing, though, is right around the time that she was found, Mars was in her 1st house. And Mars often shows somebody who is an attacker, somebody who is, hurting. And there's a square to Chiron. This person, we can look for a couple of profiles of a killer. Mars could be the attacker, somebody with a weapon, and it's squaring Chiron, so could have been some type of wound to the head. And she had her belongings all with her. So it makes me think that she was maybe intentionally going somewhere to meet somebody. Yet it wasn't what she thought. This looks like a big lie to me. Now, when I see North Node here, and it's very close to the seventh house lord, also representing a perp. In this case, it was Capricorn. It can show someone with a foreign last name. There sure is a lot of foreign types of characteristics that are happening here. Somebody who even may have a record because Pisces represents jail. So we're talking about really the timestamp of when she was found. Um, I gotta say, I'm slowly changing my mind. I mean, it did look like she had some personal issues, but if you look at what the chart looked like in the hours before she was found, well, her ascendant would have been in Gemini, and that can often show that there is more than one victim. Does that point to a serial killer? Possibly. So I'm still going to consider that it could have been, her death could have been at the hands of a serial killer. But let's continue to look. Now, with Pluto here, trining the moon, this is super, super famous and very, very much famed because of Pluto. This is can also represent a killer because it represents a murder. This is a famous, famous murder. And yet it falls somehow. It falls. Maybe because of Virgo, this could be somebody's coworker who is just potentially a witness. And the witness could, Mercury also represents witnesses too. So maybe there's a possibility that there's quite a few witnesses of who she was with. Let's see here. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to show on that one. You're getting job vibes. Okay. I think most of them, at least most of them are women. So I think 8 now. So, and all right. So hello, everyone coming in. Now let's go to this part of the chart. Okay. One more thing. Pluto represents a murderer. It's in the 8th house, so the house of murder. And whenever you get a nasty square with Black Moon Lilith, this is beyond evil. And this person is in Libra. It's weird that it's in the 5th house. So could it involve a family member of hers? I don't think so. Because you could simply just look at the 7th house and count around, and the 5th house would be the 11th house of the perpetrator. So there could have been maybe somebody from the community, somebody online, somebody who's pretty evil here. And in Aquarius can show a strike, really, something that happened, something that was very evil that happened very, very fast. And so we think possibly that there could be a friend involved with this killer. And that killer is part of that kite too. So it could very well be a very famous person coming out here. And what's really strange, this is on my mind, and it doesn't make any sense. But because I see all that Pisces, it almost makes me think that it's a twin, because Mercury's up there in that kind of Pisces stellium, a little bit outside of it in Aries. But it almost makes me think it's a twin of the Gilgo Beach murders. So maybe there's someone still out there. We saw how Taylor Swift had somebody's leg wash up near, I think it was washed up near her home in Rhode Island. So I definitely think that there is a serial killer involved with this as a whole collectively. I'm not convinced yet of this case, just because I see so much Jupiter, which can represent a personal relationship. And I was explaining that last night with Jupiter and with Aries here. Aries can just mean somebody extremely, extremely angry and in a square to Aries and with squaring Venus can mean, angry about something that has to do with financial things. So that's still kind of in the mix. Maybe it's in the background with what she's dealing with. But I've noticed that when I see people having, these encounters, these tragic encounters or deadly encounters, they tend to be going through some really awful things all at the same time. So it's like there's just this energy that is sort of like just approaching the victim. Just all things are chaotic at that time in their life. Now, here is a different case. This was a body discovered in Springfield, Mass, April 22nd at 8 a.m. I believe it was the River Parkway, something again with the river. So this serial killer might have the name. Remember, Mercury's still up there in this stellium. Mercury means what's to call, what the name is. And it's possible there could be like yet another like Riverside killer or something. So we're starting to see, I think, trends of something that has to do with the river. Hello, Gibson. Thanks for joining us. So I want to just get some cards here before we break down this next chart. And this is, what is this one? Let me see. A lot is being reported on Paige more and more. Okay, yeah. The body of a woman was recently discovered on a riverfront bike path in Mass. Again, fueling online rumors that a serial killer or killers may be targeting New England residents. And so that's all I have for that one. All right, I'm going to go to the charts and just put that in there. I'm sorry, the cards. And I'm going to use my friend Anita's cards that she just printed and started selling on her website, The Word Tarot. And what I'm going to do is, well, what question should we ask? Are these murders that we're seeing in the New England media, are they connected? In some way, are they connected? Looks like Two of Swords. So maybe two are connected. Can we get a clarification on whether these victims are connected to one serial killer? Eight of Pentacles reversed. So again, there's money involved. Something about work, maybe. So it seems to be a work theme. So it's sort of like maybe somebody who's out of work, who's just angry. We've seen that before. Buckeye, you said there were some rumors that Gilgo Beach Creep had someone working with him. Yeah, I remember that. And Shauna, you said the Jupiter moon transiting her 8th house, Gemini in natal, and now Jupiter and Gemini in the first house of the 8 a.m. chart. Yep. And Natalie, you said two different killers not working together. And that's what you get from the card. So I'm glad you popped in. Okay, yeah. So it looks like two. Interesting. Yeah, because I keep getting Mercury here. Let me get one more card from my Black Moon deck. Can we get a profile of this? Can we get a profile of at least one of the serial killers, supposed serial killers? Oh my God. What an image. 5th house, creativity. With those, that is terrifying. But the 5th house can represent not just family, but also fun, places like of entertainment, amusement parks. But those two faces, so maybe both live near, a boardwalk or something like that. Yeah, fifth house fun. Two of something for sure. Hey, we just got started. Thanks, Natalie. I know, two again. So it could be two. I'm going to use my other cards. And is there going to be another victim with the same types of profile in the next month? Is there going to be another victim of one of these individuals? Two of Pentacles reversed. So maybe not right now. Two again. So yes, I'm back. Shauna, you said these cards are really becoming your own energetically. Your own interpretation matters more. Not that I'm a tarot reader, intuitively saying that. Yeah, I always love your input. Funhouse mirror energy, yes. Okay. All right. So maybe not now, but there's a woman maybe making a decision right now on what she should do. And maybe it's a fateful decision. Oh my God. Timestamp of 9:18 p.m. Eastern for the blackout that just happened. That's a clue. That just happened now. What is it that we have things that are happening while I'm live? Oh my God, the blackout. Okay, can I just Google that for a second? Blackout. I knew that they were issuing an alert. I'm not seeing anything. But anyway, I guess I'll get back on track here. Okay, so let me put these away. I'm going to go to this chart again. Oh, well, they've been talking about a blackout all day today, and I wasn't sure. Okay. All right. The larger deck, that one is Black Moon, the Black Moon deck. That's a good one. Good Lord. I mean, they're all great. I absolutely love the newest one that I have. Why am I thinking that there's more than one? I mean, it's kind of easy here. We've got more than one, meaning more than one victim. I mean, look at the Mercury. Mercury is two. We've got Mercury, and it's also in Aries too. So that makes me think that there's a profile here. There could be a redhead, could be, something with it represents meat. Remember burger and co-burger. There is, oh God, it's a weird, I wonder if it's like a twin to co-burger. It's a weird connection. Could it be a weird connection? I mean, I am really reaching here, but let's pull a card. Is there some kind of, because I mean, Pisces is Moscow, right? Moscow, Idaho, Moscow, St. Petersburg. We've got two. Could this possibly be a twin or something, somebody that resembles Brian Koberger? See what we get. 10 of Pentacles. I guess that's a yes card. Maybe yes, but with money. And just one more clarification card. Whoa. Uh-oh. Clarification card on whether this is someone who could potentially look or resemble Koberger. 9 of Swords. So this is women. This is the sadness and despair of women. So maybe that's why it's similar. It looks like 8 have been found. This is all riverside, river things. And the 7th house lord is generally a safe place to look for the perp. And wow, Jupiter in Gemini, 2 perps. Maybe. Go to the 7th house for the murderer. I mean, you can go to a few things for the murderer, but this is the classic one. If you're a traditionalist, you go to Jupiter, and it's in Gemini. So two perpetrators by the river or by the beach. And in a T-square with North Node and South Node, it's almost like this person, This person is stuck somehow, cannot speak, might even have maybe mental problems because it looks like they can't talk. What's that about? Is this Does this murderer have some kind of communication problem? Maybe you know what I'm thinking? Maybe he was trying to connect with women and he wasn't able to. Uh, it could be some type of speech problem. Does this person have does this perpetrator or one of the perpetrators, do they have a speech problem? Knight of Pentacles. I got Knight of Pentacles, but reversed. So maybe trying to go somewhere, but can't. Still, again, we're getting the Pentacles again. Does this person have like a bad problem with women? I mean, that's usually the case, isn't it? Is there an issue with the connectivity with women? Ace of Wands. Okay. So that would indicate yes, probably. Or maybe there was, or trying to start something, start a relationship with someone. Yeah, exactly. Personality disorder. Or impotent. Or a lisp. Yes. Yeah, maybe one isn't careful as the other. Two personalities. Yes, Natalie. I know, Shauna. Okay, so I think this is pretty significant because when you see a T-square, this is, you'd read it like you would your own birth chart, and it would show that this person's having a problem with something. And it would be a problem starting from their house. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth house. And then you would count again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 and 5, maybe family issues, stuck with family, dating problems, no friends. South Node in their 11th house is kind of like the despair. This is really weird. The trine to the moon, which is yet again another symbol of the victim. So we've got a trine, and that trine means that one or both of these people, I mean, you could say just had access to her. And it was very fast because of Aquarius. And there is a trine to Mars. And Mars and Leo is somebody who's like working out, trying to get their fitness in. Third house is on a trail. I'm seeing Pisces and Aries. I'm seeing Gemini. I'm seeing Virgo. You can see the moon is here. That's her out in the open. Mercury is here. This person here, Jupiter, is stopping her. There's also been some crimes that have happened where women are just murdered on the side of the road. There's a couple of real famous ones, and there's always a lot of planets in the 11th house. Now, maybe that has to do with social media, but it's also somebody had to get somewhere. They had a goal and they were stopped, meaning the Vic here is Uranus right on the devil degree. Okay. And this is somebody who nobody can see. And again, there's a strike. So this is yet another profile of the devil that is in the mix. Now, here's what's really interesting. This person knows whoever this is. And I'm afraid to say, I think there's a female involved. Look at that. There's a connection there. Is there a female involved in some of these crimes? I mean, it makes me sick even thinking about it. Is there a female? Is there a foreign female involved somehow with these murders and involved with the perps? Okay, so the wheel. And it's interesting that because the wheel is very successful, it's kind of leaving it up to chance type of energy, right? But Venus is way up there in the 10th house. So This is an older woman, an older foreign woman. That doesn't look like an older foreign woman to me. Could it be work? Well, there again, there is jealousy. And what you can really see super clearly with this chart is that Scorpio. Scorpio down here and in a T-square here. This was April 22nd. It was a Tuesday. And somebody just strikes. It's a bully. It's somebody who's a big bully. Do they know her? Let's ask the cards one more time. And this was for April 22nd. Did the perp or perps know this victim? Page of Cups. Okay, maybe a younger person, but we've got an older woman and this looks like a younger guy. This is when she was found. So we're not really looking at a crime chart. We're looking at a discovery chart. Yeah, we need to do research, but they're not giving us a lot. They're not even giving us the name. This is just a body found. And, we got the date and we got the time that she was found. If we look at the sun as the co-ruler, and this might be what we need to do. We look at the sun in the 12th house, in Taurus. This is someone who is really nasty, has money, okay? But you've got this T-square here. And super jealous. We're talking serious jealousy and betrayal is going on. If we look at Mercury, Mercury's up here kind of outside of the Pisces area, but conjunct to a degree Neptune. It's almost like the victim had a secret. Does the victim have, or did the victim have a secret that ultimately led to her death? I'm thinking like, dating a married man or something like that, Was this about a secret? And was it the reason that the victim passed? 9 of Swords. So yeah, you can see that because Mercury is conjunct all those planets in Pisces, the emotion, the sadness. She was grieving something. She was grieving a loss of something. Yet here, maybe she's going on a bike ride to make herself feel better. And here's somebody in the background who strikes and is somehow, for some reason, very jealous. What day did she go missing? Let's see. They didn't say. It's only a body discovered April 22nd. So we're not getting a lot of information here. Coworker issues, social medias. Look at the sun. Maybe that's Jupiter in the first house. I know. No, that's the other one. Paige Fannon is the other one we were looking at earlier. So this is just one. I was trying to see if I could come up with some kind of connection here. And it does seem as if, Jupiter, it's tough. It's like, it's somebody who wants to be, your partner sometimes. You see Jupiter coming out in those true crime stories like Lacey Peterson. Jupiter was right here. Or Chris Watts. Jupiter was so prominent. So that's why it's a little confusing here, because you can really see that there's some kind of backstory with the mate of some sort. But again, there's just so much like river energy, so many people up here. And also things that are fake. So like a catfishing type of thing. Maybe, both victims were having trouble financially, or they needed to move and they both came across the wrong people to help them. So sometimes I think that it might be that kind of scenario. Was this victim answering something that was fake? Or was she doing something where she was being tricked? There was like an illusion of some sort. 7 of Wands, maybe trying to find her inner peace. And I don't know, would you say that was a yes card? Um, yeah, Natalie, this is just a, like I labeled it. It's just a body discovered. So this was 1 month after Paige. Service 2 of service. Okay. Um, was this something that happened very fast? Was it just a quick connection? 5 of Wands. So it seems like some kind of competition of some sort. A lot of people involved, maybe some kind of a project or something. But yeah, I would put coworker on my list for this one. I certainly would. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the biggest red flag, I think, is the fact that we've got Black Moon Lilith in the 6th house. This looks like 2 people. And then in that T square here, where it is beyond betrayal and jealousy. Somebody is really upset here. And I'm trying to think. So if something was planned, I mean, the Sagittarius is to plan. So let me ask this. Was this murder Moon, Jupiter? Because Moon represents the 2nd house of income. This is somebody who has some money. Was this murder planned? 8 of Wands reversed. So it seems as if it was online. I think it was online. Yeah, I know, Shauna. Do the 8, we're not getting any information. Otherwise, I'd have more charts for you. But as of now, I didn't see that much online. So if you guys see anything, please let me know. This is a 13-year-old who was killed. There's a little bit of a similarity here with her chart. She was a teenager from Arkansas. She was lured, abducted, and murdered by a 47-year-old. So really like tough early life. Her mother died in a car accident when she was 7. It was just bad situations all around. So she's trying to somehow put together a normal life for herself. And her home was in a heavily wooded area. And so it says, due to many outgoing landline calls being billed as long distance, I believe it was her dad? Yeah, her dad allowed her to use instant messaging on the family's computer to keep in touch with her friends. So there's the computer connection. She registered on Yahoo and then was in the chat rooms. So she had somebody sending her a fake picture, which would be that Neptunian type of energy. And she thought it was like a 13, 14-year-old boy. And she was teased a little bit. The day that she went missing, and they were like, this guy mailed you his photo and he's 14. And yeah, he claimed to be a 14-year-old named Scott from Alpharetta, Georgia, who loved football and wrestling. And so there was a little bit of problems with the family and all. So anyway, I pulled the chart. She eventually was killed. They scheduled a time to meet up and, gave some kind of reason, urgent reason for them to meet. And so it was, the last known connection with her was at 9:41, and that was December 3rd, 2002. Okay, so here is the chart. Let me just share this. And so she was catfished. So isn't it kind of crazy that Leo is a cat opposing Neptune? Catfish. And then you have all of this. I mean, this is a pretty intense energy. 5th house is high school. I mean, God, I've never seen so much Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is like the school. There was a lot of stuff that was happening where her schoolmates were trying to tell her, that she shouldn't be so stupid. But here she didn't know the guy, and there's Jupiter right in her first house. So we don't really have, with this body that was found in April that I was just showing you, we do have Mars in Leo, and it is trining that stellium in Pisces. So maybe there could be some kind of catfishing there that was going on. Maybe she was going to meet somebody. I think that's a possibility. I don't see that as easily with Paige Fannon's chart. Um, let's see what else here. Yeah. Oh, here we go. 2 planets in Scorpio. So again, this is a murder. This is the 8th house type stuff. So this is definitely fake things. So when I see Neptune in such a big way in a chart, it's also the same thing as if you're looking at Pisces, which is also fake. And Neptune is way at the top of that chart, which is photos. Photos was a main part of this narrative. So I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to start seeing some photos coming out. That's going to be, I think, part of that investigation, and could be photos between the victim and the perpetrator. So, but I still think that there's somebody who's pretty, as far as Paige is concerned, pretty pissed off with her, and there could have been some jealousy. Sometimes it's hard with Scorpio because, you don't know if it's going to be jealousy, betrayal. Now, with the last seen time here, we've got Virgo. And I think something that's really important here is how much is in her 10th house of career. And it can also mean out in the open too. So another thing, the 10th, 9th, 10th, and 11th houses are when somebody's going to be found either out in the open or being written up in media and magazines. So, um, so definitely this is extreme. Moon and Pluto, this is going to be a super, super famous case going forward. The 7th house in Capricorn, this could be a darker skinned person, an older person. And Saturn in Pisces is someone in disguise. What kind of, if we're talking about a disguise here, what kind of disguise are we talking about when it comes to Paige Fannon's case? What does this disguise look like? 7 of Swords. Hoodie. Couldn't see him. She couldn't see him. So he was hiding behind something, maybe. Natalie said, I don't understand charts, but it's always crazy to me to see so many crime charts be packed with planets in one sign. I know. Yeah, I mean, it shows, it's definitely a clue there. And Pisces, addictions, disguises. Somebody is, and that's part of catfishing too. There is a disguise going on. 7 of Pentacles in reverse regarding this one here as you talk on this case. Okay. And then you pulled the 19 Sun and Ace of Pentacles for those who did this to her and thought in my mind was why it hurt her. And we're talking about Paige. Okay. All right. Can I get one more clarifier? Can I get one more clarifier card on who police should be looking at? And then we're going to look at what the police look like in these charts. What are the police going to be discovering about a potential disguise? What kind of clue will it be? Okay, thanks, Shauna, about Paige. The Hanged Man. So, so probably a female that's stuck somewhere, which she was, if we're talking about Paige. But as far as a clue about, oh, okay, about a disguise, maybe, and that's what I'm getting from the chart. She's stuck. She's stuck somehow and she needs help, and somebody is is no good and trying to help her. So I think that might come out. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and just look at what the police are doing. We've got a lot of police here, actually. I mean, it's not perfect, but they look pretty strong up there. The problem is right now is they might be seen as corrupt um, if somebody is brought to justice. It's not the perfect kind of investigation. It doesn't look very organized per Piscean energy. Um, but so many photos, my God. They're going to get photos, that's for sure. We're going to get, North Node is to receiving photos, groups of photos um, of women, maybe abused women in areas, could be police women that are looking, could be military women. And I mean, let's look at Paige here. She's got kind of pink reddish hair, so that could also show her profile as well. I mean, it's more of a Scorpio kind of look, which would be here, adding to it. Um, but definitely shows that she is communicating with someone possibly where nobody can see. And it looks like a lot of photos. So that would be my number one pick, would be to obviously look into her personal relationships, but there's going to be some online photos that are involved. And let's see, where's Mars? Yeah, Mars is there in the first house. Mars represents the 11th house of social media. And so, uh, yeah, it could be. It's strange too, because in the first house, let me get back up here. This is a policeman, so it does make sense if you're. Uh, no, maybe it doesn't make sense, because I was going to say if this was when she was found, but she's not. Somebody's angry and it's right in front of her. That would be another clue, I would say. Whoever was pretty, because, and why do I say this? The square to Chiron. This is somebody who is super nasty, super abusive. Mars in Cancer she is hearing about abuse. Saturn can be a client. Seventh house Lord represents clients. So, and in her 10th house, maybe somebody who's kind of like screaming at her, which you can't even imagine, at the salon. So that could have, maybe it could have been a touch point where she was upset about something. It definitely shows that there's some things that are going on with her and her career that are super, super tough. The MC is in Pisces, but that really reflects, I think, ultimately where she would be found, out in the open, by the river. Neptune there. Yeah, and with Neptune opposing the South Node is it's despair. It's despair in the river. But definitely would look at what's going on with her and possibly moving as well. So anyway, I keep going on and on. Yeah, she worked at a salon, I think. Yeah, exactly. She's kind of like this vibrant personality plus type is what I'm getting. Judgment came out sideways regarding police. I haven't ever done this except with mentor, told I should when feel called to. So that's why I'm randomly doing this. Good. They're looking, Natalie says, at someone she had issues with, maybe Page of Swords, Five of Swords, like energy. Yeah. She most definitely had issues with someone. So for Paige, it would not surprise me if we're going to get some news, maybe even an arrest. It is the last seen time, actually. So, um, let's see. Saturn is here. I'm trying to think. Well, you can also see what was on the perp's mind. Okay. And the ninth house is in Aquarius. So this could be maybe something shocking, maybe a breakup of some sort. So Uranus is opposing Scorpio, and that would show some type of getting even. It's not always a breakup. Sometimes it's quitting, or firing. So it's hard to say, but that definitely is. Maybe we could get a card for the motive here. The motive, and remember, I got this a long time ago with Koberger, and thought that maybe the perp had just quit a job or was having trouble with a job. So sometimes that's going on in their background. But does it have to do with her? Well, let's see what's on her mind. Third house is Leo. That's her hair. That's the hair salon. And the sun is up here. If she had a significant other, it would seem like he did not like her working there. It looks like there could be maybe jealousy of maybe talking to clients or something like that. Is this a domestic issue? Is this a domestic problem? What we're looking at when it comes to Paige Fannon. I think we've got this one. Wow. Page of Swords. Yeah. That's right. The page. Good call. God, you guys really connect. Okay. So, good Lord. And I never pull the tower. I mean, it's very rare. So this has really given us a clue, I think. Was her significant other, if she had one, was he jealous? This is Paige. This is the star reversed. Maybe that could have meant her career. Her career was kind of upside down because of this personal relationship. Can you give us anything, any other clue about the tower clue? Domestic issue, Nine of Swords, Page of Pentacles. Okay. Just one more clue about a clarifier card about the tower. King of Pentacles reversed. So again, more money things. Okay. Money. All right. So let's say we're looking at the perp, right? The perp is here. So the perp's money is going to be the 8th house. And so that's also going to be Saturn. There's somebody here who is thwarting that in a sense. Jupiter represents the 6th house of coworkers. Okay. I wonder, the star, I wonder if she was a star employee and somebody is pulling back, and that has to do with the finances, maybe. It's definitely, I really think this is somebody who knows her. And let's see, Saturn in Pisces. So this is an older person. This is a creative person. This is possibly a gay person. There could be some type of trying to think what that would be. Is there anything that has to do with a gay person in this crime? Lots of gays. Let's see. Oh, this will be an interesting card. Ace of Cups. So maybe someone in a relationship, a gay relationship. I'm not saying anything about Paige, but I'm talking about in the background. Yeah. Did she make a lot of money? I wonder. And if he was insecure about her doing better than him, happens so often. Yeah, that's possible. 5 of Wands you got for who knows her. Okay, maybe there was some kind of competition. Yes, definitely a star. Or they tried to flip her career upside down because she was great at what she did, made money. Doesn't seem like it seems that's possible, but there's got to be one other thing, or at least to kind of push somebody over the edge. Yeah, someone that was in competition with her. Um, let me see here. So, yeah, I mean, Jupiter is in the 12th house of hidden enemies. And there is a square. Yeah, it looks like whoever this is was not getting along with, I mean, this looks like a client. Maybe a client was trying to reach out to her or something. I mean, now I'm all confused because it's like we've got client, we've got coworker, we've got boyfriend, or we need more information. We really need more information. I mean, I'm not trying to take this thing off track, but if we just back up here and think, okay, what was on her mind again? Her mind was Leo. So that would have been the hair. And Mars is to cut hair. So maybe that's what she was doing and she had to leave to cut somebody's hair. Maybe she was doing it privately. And she wasn't supposed to? Was Paige doing something she wasn't supposed to for her career in someone's mind? Oh, sorry. I didn't show the chart in the last one, but 4 of Cups looks like she couldn't decide on what she wanted to do. Yeah, I think it's wild too. Do you think it's for sure a significant other, or are you guys leaning towards a coworker? It's a good question. The only reason I would say a coworker is because Jupiter rules the 6th house of coworkers, and you can't see this person. It could be, Kimmy and Kimmy, people, one of the Kimmys. If there are twins, then it's one of the twins. So that could be the case. Jupiter is traditionally a significant other. Here. But there's something going on that she couldn't see. I think what we should do? I should pull her chart and we'll back up. Let's rewind. So it's going to be March 5th noon. Let me pull that. I wonder if I already have it up somewhere. Got so many things I've got up here. Not that one. Let me look for a second. Okay. Which one is this? No, not that one. So many damn crime charts. Okay, here we go. It's this one. So what we want to do, let me double check you can see that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pull this up a little bit further here. If I can find it again. Is that it? No. Shit, I lost it. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go back. So it was noon was the last seen time. So we want to go to, let's say, what time do you think? Maybe 9 a.m. And this is Wilton. Okay. So we've got Taurus now. Taurus is her. It's going to show us what she's doing. And Venus is in the 12th house. Whoa. She could be sleeping. That's the 12th house. She looks like she's doing something that is very successful because of it's in the 4th house of home. There's part of fortune there. Uranus, moon. I mean, it could be something that is lucrative online that she's doing. That's possible. So at this point at 9 a.m., what is the 7th Lord? It's in Scorpio. This is jealousy. This is betrayal of some sort. So there's no doubt that that's in the mix. Okay, hold on. Oops. Okay. But there, we want to look at the, good Lord, we want to look at the T-square here. So you can see that she's being super successful and somebody here is not super successful. This is somebody who is seriously jealous. My vote is a coworker. My vote is a coworker. Yeah, and it has to do with hair. Leo is the hair salon of some sort. Possible she took a wealthy client. Does this have something to do with catering to a wealthy client? Sometimes we got to talk these things through, you know. Catering to a wealthy client. Oh, you're right. So, yeah, it was a Tuesday. But that morning, though. Okay, I'll try 3 a.m. Who is jealous? Who is just out of their mind jealous? Somebody who maybe quit. Somebody who was thinking about quitting. This is a woman. And I think the original question was Paige catering to a very wealthy client? It looks like it. Queen of Wands. It looks like she was happy about something. Maybe she was celebrating something. She was talking to people about it. So whatever she was talking about that morning is going to be really, really important. But let's look at the night before. And that would be 3 a.m. on March 4th. Okay. I don't know why you said 3 a.m., but it looks like some stuff's happening here. 3rd house is your house of sales. But I mean, I'm thinking people are probably going to be sleeping at this point, right? Got Pluto in the 1st house, squaring right in front of her at 3 a.m. earlier on. Mercury. Jealousy. It's jealousy. It's a strike of some sort. So, I mean, that's going to be the biggest clue that we have right now until we can get some more information. So I'm going to have to think about that. If you have any ideas, definitely put some comments. You agree, work service. Mm-hmm. Who was it? 2 of Swords reversed. Oh, and I got 2 of Swords too. Unless you're talking about you got it. I know. It's just like talking it through, just like any investigator, you know, you're talking about all the possibilities. Can you tell if it's a female that's jealous of her? Let's go back to the chart here. And okay, where did I put it? Okay. Oh, here's the other thing that it's a female. Look at her transit chart that I was talking about last night. Look how, look down here. Venus is in her sixth house of coworker and it's squaring Jupiter. Um, this is somebody, Venus in Aries is somebody who's extremely angry about something. So it might be somebody who this person considered a mate. Um, yeah, and squaring Saturn is someone who has maybe death on her mind. But you think about how a female could do that. I mean, maybe they met you if a female were to do it, they would both have to meet by the river. So, there wouldn't be unless she had somebody help her transport Paige. It, you get kind of dicey into the details there. We totally do, Natalie. We need a job as a cold case people so we can get on here and solve crimes. Please do, Shauna. Uh, I, I think it's female. I think a female is involved. Maybe somebody who's older than her. You kept getting 369. Interesting. All right, I better go, guys. I've got Chloe coming up tomorrow. I didn't have enough time to look at all of her charts. So hopefully you guys can join me then. I'm also going to do Karen Reed and Koberger over the next 2 days. So hope you can join me. And thanks so much for helping me out here. And we'll see what happens. Talk to you soon.